What's good, YouTube? It's Nas, and we're back with another video. Roll the 900 subscribers, of course. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the other game ones from yesterday night. And mostly, I will be talking about the Orlando Magic versus the Detroit Pistons. And because the other games yesterday, I'm not going to lie to you, they were boring. And I had to turn some of them off, in which the Pistons versus the Magic really felt like the only competitive series. And it might actually be one of the only competitive series we're going to get out of the first round. And when we're looking at, obviously, the Orlando Magic, I picked them to probably lose in 5 games, but I didn't overthink it. Now we're going to overthink it, because when you look at these two teams, they match up perfectly with each other. They're both physical teams. They both have clunky offense. Like, when you look at, obviously, I feel like this game was more of the Detroit Pistons losing it more than the Orlando Magic winning it, in which, don't get me wrong, all credit goes to the Orlando Magic, but when we're looking at what really happened this game, like, the Detroit Pistons, nobody showed up to help Kay Cunningham. When their all-star Jalen Duren, who's up for All-NBA third team or All-NBA second team, when he only finishes with 8 points and 7 rebounds, that's just not going to cut it. In which, a game where you figure that the Orlando Magic were going to come in tired after the ass beating that they put on the Charlotte Hornets, to be quite frank. And when you look at how they came out tonight, they came out energized, and it seemed like in game 84 of the season, they figured out how they wanted to play basketball, in which a team that was expected to be a top 5 seed locked just really hasn't made it work. In this game, or the last couple games, it really seemed like Paolo Banchero has figured it out. Paolo had 23 points. He shot 8 for 15 from the field, only took 4 3-pointers, which we love to see. And at some point, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was watching WrestleMania. I was distracted a little bit, and then my friend had to tell me to turn the game back on because Paolo was dominating. And obviously, you love to see it. Franz Wagner, he had 19. He came off a good game against the Hornets, so he's recovering off his knee injuries and obviously his other ankle injuries and such things. He had a good game. Desmond Bane, 17 points. He didn't shoot it efficiently, but they still got the job done. Like, everybody in the Orlando Magic starting 5 had above 15 points, and that's what you love to see. And which, when you're talking about the Detroit Pistons side of things, when Kay Cunningham has 39 points, he has more rebounds than assists, that's just not going to work. Somebody has to step up and help him, and it just can't be Tobias Harris, who had 17 points on 15 shots. Obviously, not an efficient night. Jalen Duren, he had almost more turnovers than points. Like, is that not ridiculous to y'all? And this is going to be a contract year, and potentially you're going to have to pay Jalen Duren a lot of money, and he is going to have to show up if he wants that money. Because I'm not going to lie to you, it would be easier if he doesn't show up to move him, even though obviously we know how good Jalen Duren or how talented Jalen Duren is on the offensive end. It just looks defensively like he just doesn't try, and which that shouldn't be the case at all for a 6'11" guy who obviously is good at the offensive side of things. Like, the bench, nobody stepped up from the bench to help you. Like, Isaiah Stewart 3, Ron Holland 2, Javonte Green 3, Karis LeVert 3, Kevin Huerter 3, and Dennis Jenkins off the bench, 6 points, 1 of 7 from the field. That's just not going to cut it. And Asar Thompson only played 25 minutes, who is your best defender, who is up for Defensive Player of the Year. Like, it just doesn't, a lot of shit doesn't make sense when we're talking about Detroit Pistons versus the Orlando Magic, in which a series where I should have overthought it. In the other series I overthought it, but obviously 1 through 8 I didn't really overthink it. But when we look at potentially a team that could be knocked out, not saying that they're not going to bounce back, because I do think the Detroit Pistons will respond with a haymaker. But when you look at obviously the 1 through 8 teams or the 2 through 7 teams, like, this could be the only series that upset could happen in the first round. I'm not gonna lie to you. And that's not even me being hypocritical on Detroit or even the Celtics or Spurs or the Thunder. But when you look at those matchups, you just see an easy matchup for Wemby. You see an easy matchup for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. You see an easy matchup for Shea, Chet, and all of them. Like, you just see it. And with Detroit, they have to play a hard physical game in which minutes where Kay Cunningham has to play 40 a night. Like, there's no other. Like, with the 8 minutes that he did sit out, like, it was horrible. I watched the net rating on that, and that shit, Y'all go look it up, because I'm not gonna lie, a negative 89 is crazy for 8 minutes. But when you look at that series, game 2, I'm pretty sure is, I want to double check it, but game 2 is probably tomorrow, in which a series where, nah, it's not tomorrow, it's Tuesday. So no, it's not even Tuesday. It's Wednesday. Game 2 is on Wednesday. They get obviously 2 days off. And when you look at this series, I don't know if if Magic go in there and steal 2 in Detroit, then Detroit is in trouble. But next, we're going to talk a little bit about the other series of the day, in which the Spurs beat the Trailblazers. Wemby's playoff debut, he went fully off, which we expected Wemby to do, because there's not really anybody on the Portland Trailblazers that can guard him. Like, nobody on that team is mobile enough, and if they are mobile enough, they're just too short, in which Wemby will shoot over them. And Wemby finished with 35 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist in his playoff debut. De'Aaron Fox had 17, Castle had 17, Vassell had 15. Obviously, when you're looking at the Spurs, you just see this being an easy matchup. I just don't expect anything less. Denny Avdija in his playoff debut, he showed up to play. He had 30 points and 10 rebounds, but there's just not enough talent on this Portland Trailblazers team to honestly compete with this Spurs team. And I'm just going to keep it 1,000 with y'all. Like, don't expect anything less. Maybe the Portland Trailblazers get a game with a Wemby stinker, but at the same time, I just don't see it happening. It's just more likely not to happen. But next, talking about the Thunder versus the Suns, and it was over at the end of the first quarter. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, I was watching the start of that game because I was just waking up and I didn't get to catch the Celtics versus 76ers till later that day. But when you're looking at this series, it's like the Spurs series. Like, it's easy. Like, obviously, Dillon Brooks got a flagrant, and then Chet Holmgren gets up, end of the quarter, he hits a 3. That's when I turned the game off. Like, it was over from there. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had a stinker. He had 25 points, 5 of 18 from the field. They still won. Chet Holmgren, 16 points. J-Dub, Jalen Williams, he had 22, showed up tonight. Booker, he had 23 points, 8 from 17 from the field. Dillon Brooks, 18 with 6 of 22 from the field. Jalen Green, 17 with 6 of 16 from the field. Just not going to cut it. If you want to at least get a game off this OKC team, you need efficient nights from Brooks, Jalen Green, and Devin Booker to even come close to winning the game. And next, finally, we're going to talk about the first game of the day, which was the Boston Celtics versus the 76ers. And this is going to be an ass beating if Joel Embiid doesn't come back. This is going to be an ass beating. Like, Tyrese Maxey, he had a stinker, 8 from 20 from the field, 21 points. VJ Edgecombe, he didn't show up in his playoff debut. He had 13 points, 6 of 16 from the field, 0 for 5. Obviously, that's not what you want. Paul George, 17 points, 4 from 8 from the field, not going to cut it. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both showed up to play. Jason Tatum in his playoff return, he had 25 points and 11 rebounds and 7 assists. Jaylen Brown, 26 points, 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Like, you obviously see why obviously the Boston Celtics are the favorites to come out the East, but I want to know how y'all felt about these playoff games yesterday, and really how y'all feel about the Orlando Magic Detroit Pistons series, because obviously that segment was longer than all the other ones because that was the most interesting game last night. But y'all let me know down below. Subscribe. What's good, y'all? If y'all made it to the end of the video, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And there's a video right here. I'm pretty sure you're gonna like it if you like this one. And the channel icon's right there if you want to just check out the channel in general. And yeah, leave a like too, because it really helps the algorithm push me out. And yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching this video nonetheless.